Welcome to My Money Mindset podcast, where we explore how a healthy mindset is the foundation for financial success. Each week, we delve into mindset hacks and practical strategies to help you enhance your income, help you make more appropriate investments for yourself, and to improve your overall financial well-being. Join us on this journey to transform your financial future by transforming your mindset. Please note that the information provided on this podcast is for general information purposes only and does not constitute as personal, financial or health advice. It has been prepared without considering your individual objectives, financial situation or life needs. Before making any financial or health decisions, you should consult with a qualified professional or financial advisor to ensure the information aligns with your specific circumstances. So let's begin and enjoy this journey as each episode teaches us on how to improve our overall mindset that it overall improves our financial success. I just wanted to do a short episode, a quick episode in regards to your mindset in when it comes to having your goals set and when it comes to actually feelings and thoughts in relation to those goals. And by the end of this sort of quick episode, I want to sort of have you understanding that your feelings and your thoughts are actually what control your goals. Now, what I mean by that is your goals are something that you sort of basically come up with, or they're a motivation, a reason for you to get motivated. Their accomplishments, whatever those goals are, and utilizing investment or property and gaining more wealth and money, utilizing that as your goal as more money or more investments or more in tune, learn more, anything that goal revolves around obviously needs to be focused upon. A lot of people utilize the practice of putting up a signage of motivation, motivational music. Could be when you're going to the gym, could be a sign in your bathroom saying save more money, whatever it may be. Talk to my mentor, address the problems that I have, and so on and so forth. Now, a lot of the time we are always playing the blame game of why we never accomplish the goals. And I'll go back to the blame games, meaning that we can blame ourselves, we can blame other instances, our past, our whatever it may have been that affected the reason why we never achieved the goal, or we never got round to it, or we never weren't happy with what happened when we did achieve the goal. So there's a lot of reasons why this blame game, is played. And, you can put your hand in the air and understand that, look, it was my fault or it was not my fault or whatever. That's really not what this is about. And the past is a past, and I understand, but we also learn from the past. So if we acknowledge that the goal wasn't reached for whatever reason, we learn upon it and then we move forward, right? So, and that's primarily identifying where it went wrong, correcting where it went wrong, implementing strategies or procedures that you believe will make it go right, and giving it a go again until you do get it right and you accomplish that goal. So if we use the example of trying to get in another investment property as a goal, then what we're basically saying is, well, we've obviously got to save enough deposit. We've got to speak to our professional advisors. We've got to make sure that everything is in accordance. We want to make sure that we're secure with income. We want to make sure that the investment is secure and it's a good investment. And all this feedback comes back to everything, and you've done all your due diligence in order to break your goal down into manageable pieces. And I did an episode in regards to breaking a goal down into bite-sized little manageable pieces, even when it comes to daily practices. Now, I just want to break that down into slightly smaller analytical reasons upon how we're going to make sure that these micro goals. So if we're saying that the goal in 1 year is to buy an investment property, and we break that 1 year down into 365 days, then we have 365 days that we have to fill with something that we are going to that's going to help you achieve that goal. Okay. So whatever that may be. Now let's say take the example of day one, we're going to start putting up motivational signs around the house. Someone want to save more money. Day two, we'll have a look at actually doing what you said. You're not going to go spend the money somewhere where you think is not worthwhile, and so on and so forth. So you start practicing these goals. Now, at the end of the day, everything that you're doing within the day is really good. Now, what happens in some instances as you're trying to achieve your goals and in these little daily routines or procedures and instructions that you're trying to carry out to achieve your goal, sometimes your feelings and your emotions are affecting your performance in actually getting any of this done. Now, what I mean by that is sometimes if you're not feeling happy or you're not feeling content, and quite often as you achieve these smaller goals each and every time, your feelings and emotions are somewhat more elated as you accomplish them. But in some instances, you haven't accomplished, or maybe you're feeling bad, or something else is a distraction in your life and you start to feel not great. It's got nothing to do with the goal. It's got to do with something totally different, but it's affecting you emotionally. And that affects your goals because indirectly, sometimes, how many times is it that if you ever think that it's pretty much like going to the gym, yeah? You've got to have motivation. Look, sometimes, even though you're really motivated to get fit or what have you, some days you just don't feel like it. And that's with anything in life. And there's no difference when it comes to actually achieving your goals for investment properties or anything for that matter. So your feelings and your thoughts are very, very direct. Well, they're actually directly linked to the outcome of your micro goals. So I always like to use the analogy of, your goal is to buy an investment property. Let's use the analogy of a tree or a plant or a fruit tree for that matter. And I'm actually planting an apple tree. Now we plant that seed and hopefully in years to come, we will bear apples that will fall to the ground, which have got seeds in them and so on. And then those seeds will grow into other apple trees, right? That's the way nature works. It's the way it just works and it's worked well. It's no different for your goals and your investments or investment properties, right? So you start with one and so on and so forth, and hopefully you end up with a lot more, just like the apple tree. Now, if you can picture the fact that when you plant this apple tree or this seed that will eventually be an apple tree, can you imagine if you can imagine that your thoughts and your feelings are the actual water and sunlight to that tree growing into like a flourishing tree, your feelings, call it the water, your your thoughts or your emotions are the sunlight. We all know plants need sunlight and it needs water. So rain and sunlight. That means just like you and your goals, wanting them to grow, in the end, require a healthy way of looking and having a way of life. Your mindset has to be healthy. So if your feelings and your emotions or your thoughts are somewhat negative, you could picture that as being uh, slightly poisoned water or not enough sunlight, and it's a direct correlation to the growth of that apple tree or that goal. And eventually, if you keep watering your plant with not the right amount of water or the incorrect water or poisoned water or acid or something besides water and it's oil, nothing's going to grow. And the same thing is with your toxic feelings and thoughts. And those thoughts and feelings are somewhat directly correlated to your surroundings. Now, I'm not saying get rid of surroundings that are toxic, although you want to avoid them. But if it's unavoidable, you want to start to change the environment of what is making it toxic and how can I do that? Whatever that is. I mean, that's a one-on-one conversation. My environment is toxic. I don't know how to handle it because it's inhibiting, or I know it will inhibit my growth or improve my life overall. So if we go back to that analogy of the apple tree getting watered by acidic, toxic water, that seed is never going to grow, or it's probably never going to bear apples, right? If it doesn't have enough sunlight, as in your thoughts and feelings, and it's dark all the time, it's not going to grow. So the more that you can actually provide your investment with your thoughts and feelings and connotations of positivity, truthfulness, self-reflection, which is all bound to truthfulness, and a connotation of making sure that whilst you are living in today, your thoughts and your feelings are actually elated simply because you are able to grow towards that investment as a person. Now, sometimes these investments are not obtainable, or these goals, sorry, are not attainable within the time frame. That's fine. It doesn't mean that you get upset and curl up and then won't worry about it and then hit the reset button. It just means that you continue going. And one of the main purposes for making sure your feelings and thoughts or your feelings are really in a happy sort of zone, positive zone, is simply because the now is actually going to be in a positive, happy zone. And now is all that matters. Even if it does take you longer to achieve your goal, at least you're doing it with contentment and a positive connotation rather than a negative connotation. So I hope that sort of breaks down the sort of understanding of what feelings and thoughts, how they can affect your end goal, because sometimes plenty of times we look at the goal and we break it down into sort of logical pieces and we say, well, logic, I don't understand why that goal was never achieved. I don't understand how some people do it simply because I did all the right steps. I followed this mentor program. I followed this, my coach, whatever it might have been. They told me to do everything. I did it to the T, and it still didn't turn out the way it was. So let's play the blame game on either I'm not good enough or that my coach isn't good enough or so on and so forth. Sometimes it can be the connotation of your feelings and thoughts in a micro detail. So daily thoughts and feelings being quite healthy. Just like the apple tree, it needs to be watered every day. So too do you and your goals, or towards the achievement of your goals and having that apple tree bear apples, having you bear those investments. It does reflect it, and it also reflects your decision. So I hope that clears that up. And lastly, don't take everything to heart. It doesn't mean because if you don't get to the end, you don't reach your goal at the end of the year or specific timeline. Time is a gift. Use it wisely. It's not something that is your enemy when it comes to achieving goals. Understand that time is just a figment that we use in a measuring device as far as saying, 1 year, it means nothing at the end of the day. If it means that it's taking you 2 years, 3 years to achieve that investment, well, at least every day, or those micro little goals that you've been implementing every day have been with a better feelings, better connotations of thoughts and everything, which improves your life overall. And that's the main purpose of investing. It's to improve your life overall. It's probably not the be all end all if you don't get enough investment properties or investment property, but it means that you're living today with a happier outlook on life, and you're actually achieving more than what you would have in a toxic environment or not doing anything at all. So don't always think that if you don't reach a timeline or that you needed more time, don't beat yourself up over it or think that it's a negative thing or you can't do what you're doing. Think of a time as your friend. It's actually a gift to us, right? It's just like life. The energy of life is a gift. And setting times, we grew up with so many restrictions based upon time. By the time I'm the age of 8, by the time I'm the age of 18, and there's so many things that are placed in front of us to make us feel as though these are sort of goals or achievements. It's actually not. Time is a given gift, just like life. And if you don't reach your goal in that amount of time, don't feel like it's sort of a direct negative connotation towards you. It's just time. It's tomorrow will happen. I am a firm believer of appreciating every minute that we have. So enjoy what we have, thus emotions and feelings being as a happier person or a positive person or a more realistic person and a proactive person, a motivated person, a sharing person, and all these other sorts of attributes that make you feel good. And everyone knows their gut feeling says that's the right thing to do is what is important, because you live that every day and guarantee every day is going to gift you exactly what you put out. You know, we always hear karma, as in karma being that of what goes around comes around. We've all heard it. And we tend to apply, especially in the Western world, we apply it to a negative connotation. But quite often, karma is on a positive sort of connotation. So it just can't be bad. What goes around comes around. You'll see what happens. But you give out good karma and it does come back. Now, how does it come back? We all know that that comes back in multiple ways, but always understand that you put out good and you treat other people the same way you'd want to be treated, it will come back. And that goes all in accordance and in correlation to your life success and obviously your investment success or financial success. And at the end of it all, you've actually lived a much happier life than that of misery or too higher expectations upon yourself. I hope that helps.